Hello and welcome to the MBAM portal for construction law. Today we are continuing our series on legal issues to consider before you expand overseas. In the first video, we talked about corporate structure. Once you've set up, you'll need employees. You'll need people both at leadership level, at management level, as well as common workers. So it is time for you then to get your contracts in place. Now, general workers usually must comply with the law of the land. And I just want to remind you with a caution, it is not just the law of the land where you are operating, but you must consider whether there are implications if you don't comply with the laws of your home country, as well as in any other country with which you do business. Most of us will be aware that some Malaysian companies recently had their goods embargoed because they were deemed to be not compliant with US labor law standards, to the point of being construed as practicing slavery. Now, this is especially important if the corporate structure that you set up in the foreign country is linked to your holding company back home. Now next, when we talk about employment and when we talk about operations in a foreign country, there is always the possibility of using expatriates. Expatriates could be Malaysians being sent to the foreign country or even from anywhere else. So then you need to think through the process. Is this a secondment? Is this a direct employment from the foreign entity? If it is an outright employment, then how do you structure it? Many expatriates, for example, in Malaysia, are on a system whereby they are both under employment as well as with a consultancy contract going at the same time. And this was structured in a way for tax purposes, for purposes that benefits the expatriates as well as beneficial for the company. So for expats, there is also the possibility of subjecting the employment to foreign law. You may not want to be subject to the local law where you are based. This will affect how you deal with disputes, how you deal with termination, etc. For example, Malaysia does not recognize termination at will according to the contract. So your contract may say that both parties can terminate the contract with 3 months written notice, but the fact is Malaysian law does not allow employers to terminate the contract with a 3 months notice in accordance with the terms of the contract. Malaysian law says you need just cause. So if you are seconding a Malaysian to a foreign country, you may not want the employment to be subject to Malaysian law because Malaysia has very stringent provisions for termination. So get all your contracts in place. Do not do a simple cut and paste from your existing templates. I have seen so many botched jobs when companies decide to cut and paste. Recent incident, settlement agreement that I saw, true story, not properly advised. The company did some careless wording arising from copying other samples. They ended up by having to give 10 years warranty for all defects. And that is crazy. So get proper advice, review your templates. In the next episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the taxman.